Today, on the spooky Halloween special, we're going to do a retro review of a couple of my favorite scary movies, Exorcist 3 and Death Becomes Her.
You almost forgot.
So I'm so excited to talk about some of my favorite underrated horror movies. I mean, they're not really that scary. Well, Exorcist 3's got some really scary parts, but Death Becomes Her is more comedy. But yeah, these two movies are just so much fun. I love them so.
Girl. Help!
Where are you?
Help! Help! I'm stuck in the wall.
Oh, fuck.
I was decorating for Halloween and I got stuck.
I think you're in.
I'm over here.
Oh.
Here, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Oh.
Sure. It's just like in Stranger Things, or Poltergeist, or that Twilight Zone episode from 1962 with...
I'll have to find the Crisco to get you out of there. I don't know how we're gonna get you out of there.
There's spiders in here.
I know. That's real scary.
You gotta get me out so I can do the Halloween special. I really want to be in this episode.
All right, Robot, you're just gonna have to stay in there until, like, Halloween's over, because Mama's got some partying to do.
I want to party.
You can party with those spiders.
Some people will go to any length to stay young forever.
Is that someone?
It's Madeline Ashton. Oh, she was a big star in the 60s.
Are about to go too far.
A touch of magic. Drink that potion, and you'll never grow even one day older. Bottoms up.
Siempre viva! Live forever!
Ernest, I'm in the morgue. They think I'm dead.
You are, but you're not.
Are you telling me it doesn't hurt when I do this?
It doesn't hurt.
All right, so our next movie is Death Becomes Her. Robert Zemeckis.
What's that about?
Okay, so it's about this vain, bitchy woman. she's a fading star. She used to be this big star, and so she's
On YouTube?
No, in the movies and on Broadway and stuff. Yeah, and so she is really bummed about how bad she looks, and she gets this card from someone like, hey, you know, you wanna take it to the next level with your beauty regime. Call this lady. One night she calls this lady, and this lady gives her essentially the fountain of eternal youth. You know, she's given this potion that makes her young again. But, you know, things go wrong really quickly with everything. It's very much an EC comic book. Like, this is like, obviously Robert Zemeckis grew up reading horror comic books from, like, the 50s. And he loved them. And this is totally straight up, like, that tonality with this. Because it's fun, it's schlocky, there's a morality tale. It's just really, it's just fun and goofy. And, yeah, I love Isabella Rossellini in this movie. She plays the woman who gives out the potion. And, oh my god, I need to cosplay as her so bad. Like, when I was a little girl and I saw her, I was just like, she's so cool, you know? She's just such a snake lady. Like, oh, she's the best. So, yeah, she's wonderful. Meryl Streep is in this. She is fucking Meryl Streep. She's amazing. We also have Goldie Hawn in this, who is also amazing because she's fucking Goldie Hawn. And this is my favorite Bruce Willis performance, like, for real, like, my favorite Bruce Willis performance.
Why is that? What makes it so good?
Because he's not playing Bruce Willis. He's not cool or sexy or funny or saving the world. He is this pathetic loser character who starts off as this, like, well-to-do surgeon who's, like, turned into an alcoholic who, like, is a mortuary guy now. He makes, like, the stars look like really good when they're dead, like in their caskets, and that's what he's doing now. And, like, he is in the middle of this feud between these two women, between Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn, who were friends in high school, and Meryl Streep stole, you know, Bruce Willis away from Goldie Hawn. So yeah, it's just two women fighting over a guy, and they're not really fighting over the guy. They don't even care about the guy. They just like hurting each other. So poor Bruce Willis is just caught in the middle, you know?
What's the best scene in the movie?
Well, there's a lot of really great scenes in this. I love when they go to the emergency room.
And you've shattered two vertebrae, because I can't really be certain without an x-ray, but the bone protrusion through the skin, that's not a good sign. And your body temperature's below 80, and your heart stopped beating. What the hell does that mean? Exactly what... I think I'm gonna get a second opinion. Doctor!
Okay, so she passes out because they're figuring out that she's dead. Like, she doesn't have a heartbeat and stuff. And she's like, what's going on? And so Bruce Willis runs to find the doctor. The doctor's, like, having a heart attack because, like, it freaked him out. And then he, like, goes in the ER and you see this tennis player with all these bloody knees. And then there's these, like, nuns that are just floating by the morgue that make no sense. They're just amazing. Like, they're just such great props. And then he goes down in the morgue, and the morgue is, like, this really great, like, Hollywood morgue. It's amazing. And he gets her out of there, and he's like, it's a miracle! And there's this lightning flash. It's so good. It's so much fun. One of the best scenes, too, is when Goldie Hawn, after she gets killed, she gets a hole blown in her stomach, and then she gets out of the pool, and there's this big hole in her stomach. And, like, at the time, like, I saw this movie when it came out, and I was a kid, and I was like, thought these were, like, the best special effects I'd ever seen in my life. You know, I was like, these are the best special effects I've ever seen. Like, how do they do this? How do they have this big hole in her stomach? I thought I was so excited. And in fact, my friend Alec Gillis at ADI was responsible for these. I've become friends with the guy who made the effects for this, and he won the Academy Award for the effects in Death Becomes Her.
So what did you learn in the end of Death Becomes Her?
Well, it's, you know, it's such a great morality tale. You know, it's just talking about vanity and frenemies and being a cunt and what you get for being a cunt. And being trapped in hell with some other woman, and you guys have to be hanging out all the time, that you hate each other and painting each other's asses is really funny. So yeah, my whole thing is don't go looking for immortality. It's a big one. Immortality is bad for anyone. It's not good for you.
Huh.
That's the overall message: is immortality is bad for you.
Okay.
And don't be a bitch.
Got it. Lesson learned.
Yeah. I love movies with bitchy lady characters. They're just so much fun.
Who do
Like
you
the woman
think
that I
you
married,
are?
and more like
You're
a broad.
nothing.
Yes, you are
Ernest.
broad.
You are nothing.
That's what I called you.
You're a tragic,
You're pathetic.
boozy,
Look at the way.
flaccid clown.
Watch
That's
it, Madeline.
it. Flaccid.
Watch what you say, Madeline.
Flaccid.
Watch what you say, Madeline. I don't have to take this anymore. I don't have to take this any longer.
Oh, yeah, you'll take it. You'll take everything I have to give. You always have. You're not even a man anymore, and I need a man. A real man, not some drunken, broken-down, flaccid undertaker who is just as dead below the waist as his clients are. Hey, I might have more fun with one of your clients. At least I'd know I'd be getting something stiff in there.
And Death Becomes Her, I just found out, Shout Factory, the same people who made Exorcist 3, also put Death Becomes Her on Blu-ray. Oh my god, I have to go out and get it. I'm so pumped.
What's our other movie on today's special?
Would a god who is good invent something like that? Plainly speaking, it's a lousy idea. It's not popular thought. It's not a winner. There you go, blaming God.
3 decapitations. 3 victims. With this finger severed, the correct one. And the sign of the Gemini here.
Only Richmond Homicide knew that, no one else.
All right, so Exorcist 3. This is one of my favorite underrated horror movies. Shout Factory just released it on Blu-ray. I'm so excited. The people over there are just doing God's work. Like, I love the stuff that they keep putting out.
How's the quality?
It's beautiful. It's a 2K restored scan of the theatrical cut, and then we also have the director's...
What does that mean? 2K. What does that mean?
Well, they went back and they went through the film and they recaptured all of it and then they put it on the thing and it's much higher quality than it was
How
before.
much higher quality is it? The exact pixel ratio, please.
This is really Exorcist 2 because this movie is based upon the book Legion by William Peter Blatty, the same guy. This is the actual sequel to The Exorcist, okay? So this movie, like, there's no Exorcist 2 stuff. It acts like it didn't even happen. In fact, he wanted to name the movie Legion because it's the name of the book. He didn't want to call it Exorcist 3, but then the studio made him do that because they were like, you can't sell it if you don't have Exorcist in the title. And people are not going to know what it is.
What's the plot?
Okay, so Exorcist 3.
You just blew out your candle.
Whoops.
I can't see it, but I can tell.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Cold
the plot.
in here.
Okay, the plot. All right, the plot. This movie picks up like 15 years or something after the events of The Exorcist, okay? And so what happens is that, okay, let me just pitch this to you because you're not going to watch this movie. So I'm just going to pitch this to you to get you to watch
while
it.
I'm in the wall.
You know what? You're not going to watch any movies if you keep it up, all right? You're going to have no TV time. Just be quiet for a minute. So Exorcist 3.
I never saw The Exorcist 1.
Okay, well then that's fine. You don't need to know that, but it just makes it more enjoyable if you do know that.
Should I watch Exorcist 1?
Yes, everyone should watch Exorcist 1. In fact, if you haven't seen Exorcist 1, yes, watch Exorcist 1 before you watch Exorcist 3.
Well, maybe you should have said that.
Well, I just did.
What's the plot of Exorcist 1?
Oh, fuck. Okay, so Exorcist 1, you have this kid, the McNeil kid. She's fucking around with a Ouija board. She contacts Mr. Howdy, who ends up being this demon Pazuzu, who ends up possessing her.
Wait. Pazuzu?
Pazuzu, yeah.
Wait, say that again.
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu?
I don't think he would think that it's cute how much you're laughing at his name, and I would be careful if I were you, Robot.
Well, then I'll just stay on the wall.
Okay, yeah. Pazuzu. Yeah, he's hanging out, and he possesses this child, and the mom's trying to figure out what's wrong with her, and then, you know, they finally have to have this really dramatic exorcism, and it's really cool, so it's big. Yeah.
Is there slime?
Yeah, well, there's, like, vomit. There's, like, green pea soup vomit. That was actually made from pea soup.
Why do you think The Exorcist is such a big deal?
Well, have you seen it? It's great.
No.
Well,
that's why I'm asking.
Why is The Exorcist such a big deal? Well, it's just a really well-made horror film that's actually really scary. And the subject matter was treated very realistically by the people who were making it. And it was great. It was just really well made. It's just like Rosemary's Baby.
Did you get scared?
Yeah, you get scared when you watch. I mean, I don't, but I'm not. I mean, it takes a lot.
Do you think I'm old enough to watch it yet?
You might be there, yeah. I think, yeah, you could handle it now.
The only thing I'm scared of is spiders.
You got a long night ahead of you. Okay, so Exorcist 3. We have Kinderman, who is in Exorcist. There's these murders going on, these like really sacrilegious, crazy murders going on, where people are being like crucified on boards and like having like nails in their eyes and stuff like that, and their heads cut off, and like people get a priest gets his head cut off in a confessional, like while people are confessing.
Oh no!
Like there's like all this crazy stuff, like all these like these really terrible things are happening. And the thing is Kinderman's like, wait a minute, these murders are a lot like the Gemini Killer. Like this is the Gemini Killer, but everyone's like, but the Gemini Killer died. It's not the Gemini Killer. It can't be the Gemini Killer, you know? So he's like, but I'm telling you, like, it's the same MO, you know? So anyways, we have to figure out how it is the Gemini Killer. And can I spoil it?
Yes.
I think I should just spoil it. I mean, you guys aren't going to watch this. It doesn't matter. It's been out since 1990. You had your chance.
Spoilers. Spoil the movie.
The ghost of spoilers. So, okay. So what happens is Kinderman, he's in this hospital. Some of these murders like are taking place. They have like, you have to have a lot of medical knowledge, right? They're in this hospital. Another murder takes place. So like the murderer is in the hospital. He goes to this disturbed ward, right? And then he finds this patient in there. And then he's like, holy shit, that guy looks just like Damien Karras. Like, that's Damien Karras. Like, I know that man. And it turns out that the demons that Karras had thrown out of Reagan, well, they were really angry at the fact that they were exorcised, right? And they're so angry, in fact, that they pull this stunt where when Damien Karras falls down the stairs, he's technically dead. But, like, while he's kind of technically dead and his soul's trying to get out, the demons slip in the soul of the Gemini Killer, all right? And then they're like, you've got to continue your work, but through this body, because they want to make like a mockery, you know, of this whole thing and like bum everybody out who's involved in the exorcism, right? And so it's been like 15 years. He had to regenerate his fucking brain. He had to regenerate his brain because he was like, didn't have oxygen for a while. And so, yeah, he like actually, and how he got out was he climbed out of his coffin and scared some guy, and the other guy got in the coffin, and then he wandered off, got put in a hospital, and then now, after he's been regenerating brain for 15 years, he's got enough brain power to where he can throw his spirit out of his body into patients, like elderly patients who like aren't there, like catatonics and stuff like that. Like he throws himself into catatonics bodies, possesses those bodies, and then goes around killing people, continuing on the Gemini killer work he was doing when he was alive through these elderly people that he's killing other people with.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, and all the people that die, they all have something to do with the Reagan, like the exorcism of Reagan, you know? Like everybody...
Ronald Reagan?
No. Reagan McNeil from The Exorcist.
Oh.
Yeah. The thing is about this movie, it's completely unique. It is not only written by William Peter Blatty, it is also directed by him. He directed this film, and it was his second film. He also directed The Ninth Configuration, which I haven't seen, but it's on my queue. I'm going to watch that at some point. There's just nothing like it, you know? There's nothing like it. It's a flawed film. It's not a perfect film, okay? But there's just so many really great moments in it, and George C. Scott plays Kinderman, and he's, like, the best. Like, he's so good. And there's a lot of really weird, dark humor in this. Like, a lot of really weird, dark humor. The best scene? Well, there's one scene in particular that everybody points to. I don't want to spoil this for you.
What is it?
Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's like there's this scene where somebody, you know, is going to get killed, and it's like a lot of suspense and tension. It's like a really great suspense moment. Also, though, my favorite scene is when Kinderman...
There's a lot of suspense with me, too. Am I going to get out of the wall? Am I not going to get out of the wall?
I know, who knows?
Will the spiders get me?
Will they implant their eggs in your circuit boards?
Oh, no! Don't tell me that! Help! Help!
Shh, pipe
She
down.
won't let me out of the wall!
Let me finish. Let me just finish this and I'll get you, okay? Okay. So my favorite scene in this is when Kinderman is having a lucid dream, and he's in this astral state where it's between where a soul goes before it moves on to the next phase, like after you're dead. And there he talks to one of his friends, and it's just like this, like Fabio's in the scene, and it's just like all these extras, and it's like this huge hospital, and there's these like angels, and like, it's so good. Like that scene is so just visually impactful. I really like it a lot.
What was the difference in the book and the movie?
Okay, well, the book and the movie, they're a lot different, because the book really isn't a supernatural crime thriller scary novel. It's not that. What it is really a question about the problem of evil and of like all these like theosophical problems.
What is the problem of evil?
Well, Kinderman, throughout the book, Kinderman is having this crisis, right? Because you have like the problem of evil, right? On Earth, you have these terrible acts, and you think to yourself, if we had this loving God, why would he allow these horrible things to happen?
Yeah, why?
And Kinderman, as a police officer, is like, sees like these horrible things. Like he sees the worst of mankind, you know? In fact, these Gemini killings are some of the worst things that he's ever seen, and they personally touch him. And so he's like, what is this? What is this all about? And at the end, Kinderman kind of gives his explanation of what he thinks is what happened, is that, you know, there's like this being, and then it becomes aware, and then it rips itself to shreds, and that's what the universe is, and that we're really like Lucifer, the bearers of light, and that we're an angel trying to put ourselves back together again, and that's what evolution is.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, you got to have a lot of prep work before. I mean, that's all. We got to do a whole mysticism thing, because here's the deal. All right, I read this book when I was in college, and I didn't get it. And I read it, and I knew, I was like, I'm not smart enough to understand this. Like, it's philosophically, like, it's way over my head. So I just recently reread it this year. It's been a while. I've done a lot more research into these sort of occult subjects, and I get it now. And I'm like, I love it. I love this book. Like, I'm so glad that I read it again, because now I was totally ready for it, and it was so worth my time, and this book just really knocked my socks off. Like, I really feel like, as much as I love the movie, like, the book is way better, and I love them both, like, for different reasons. So I highly recommend reading The Exorcist and Legion. It's got a lot of spiritual thoughts in there, you know.
So this new version has the original ending that no one has seen in 30 years.
Yes.
And you've seen it.
Yes.
Well, what's the verdict?
Okay, so the original ending, I totally see why the studio made him change it. Like, I totally get it.
Why? What was it?
Kinderman just, like, goes in after his daughter's threatened. He goes back in and he sees the patient, Tommy Sunshine, Damien Karras, and then he just, like, shoots him. and it's like really abrupt, and it's like, oh my god, he just shot him, like, and there's no monologues, there's no, like, it's just like,
and then the
he's
movie's
dead.
over?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, what was the ending that they went with?
Well, the ending that's in the theatrical version of Exorcist 3 is they forced him to put an exorcism in the movie, which there is no exorcism in the book. So like, and I don't think there needs to be, but the studio was like, you can't call it Exorcist 3 and not have an exorcism in it. So you have this character, Father Morning, who's just shoehorned in. He shows up at the end, and then he does this, on Damien, he's doing the exorcism, and then all these snakes come out, and there's fire, and then all the thing goes away, and like, people are like crucified, and I mean, it's got a lot of really cool imagery, but it just kind of doesn't fit with the rest of the film. But I do like the theatrical ending better. Although honestly, I just want to like remake Legion because it's so good. Like as much as I love that William Peter Blatty wanted to direct his own vision, and I understand that, I really wish that somebody else had directed it because
because he's a book writer and not good enough.
Well, no, I mean it's just
say it.
It's
we all can read it on your face. You think he's not good enough.
He is good enough, and I do love what he did. I do love what he did, and it's so unique. But this story is so good, and I feel like it could be told in a much creepier way that would make more sense.
If there was a better filmmaker.
I mean, I would just want to readapt it. I just want to readapt it. Just the whole thing.
All right. So you're in favor of rebooting Exorcist 3?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a supernatural, like, crime movie, It would be like this guy trying to figure out, he's like, all these fingerprints aren't matching. He's like, so the fingerprints from this killing are gonna match this killing, right? And they're like, no. And he's like, what do you mean no? And it's like driving him nuts. And it's like, how are you gonna explain this? How are you gonna put this in the report that, it was some angry spirit who put a serial killer spirit in my friend's body, and then he was projecting himself into Alzheimer's patients and then going around killing people. Like, he's never going to be able to put that in a report,
All right.
Yeah. And happy Halloween!
So this Halloween I should watch Death Becomes Her and Exorcist 1 and 3.
Yeah, you can skip 2.
Okay. As soon as I get out of the wall, I'll watch them both.
I'm going to have to get that Crisco out, though. I have to find that first.
Grease up the wall.
Yeah, grease it up. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this channel, subscribe to my videos, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram.
Wait, this is an unresolved plotline.
Next episode.
So, what am I here for today? What is this?
Well, today on our second annual Spooky Halloween special, I've decided that I would like to take this time to tell you about one of the most underrated films of all time, in my opinion.
Okay.
Just for kicks the other day, I was on Rotten Tomatoes, and I looked it up, and there is a 0% on there, I found out. A 0. In fact, all the reviews were bad. And I just thought that was really unfair, and that I'm gonna make it my Halloween mission to let everyone know how awesome this movie is.
You and your old 1920s movies.
Side note, I'm not saying that this movie is great, but I am saying that it is a lot of fun and super enjoyable.
I want to watch Predator instead.
And since I realize that a lot of you are still not gonna give this movie a chance, today we're just gonna sit here and watch the whole thing together. So you better get comfortable. We're gonna pop it in.
I want to watch Commando.
Nope. It's been decided. It's Halloween and we are doing this.
But I've never even seen House 1.